Don't call it a comeback. I've been
Ah.
here for years, provoking my peers, putting suckers to fear, making the tears rain down like the moon. Soon, listen to the bass go boom, explosion, overpowering, over the competition. I'm towering, wrecking shop. When I drop these lyrics that'll make you call the cops, don't you dare stare. You better move. Don't ever compare me to the rest of the all get sliced and dice. Competition paying the price. I'm gonna knock you out.
Old school, old
Yeah,
school. Yes, man. Nobody's ever done that one on the show. I love it, man. Thank you so much, man. Opening up
no
the show.
problem.
Jamal, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you, man. It's been a long time waiting. I've been
It's
wanting to
been
do
a
this for a
long
while.
time waiting. I know that, well, you're US and then you moved to Canada and then now you're back into the US.
Yeah.
How long were you in Canada for?
About 5 years.
Okay. All right. Was it your decision or was it?
Oh, my wife, her family grew up there.
Okay.
Well, she grew up there when she moved there. She was like 16,
Okay.
and my wife was she originally from Russia, so she moved to Canada when she was like 16. Her and her whole family.
Nice.
Yeah, so her dad was sick at the time, and she just lost her mom. So we wanted to get up there
Oh,
so we could hang out with her dad and spend some time with the family,
yeah.
before he passed away. So that was the main reason why we moved up there.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, we've been talking quite a bit to try to get you on the show, and it's kind of interesting. Lately, I've been getting a lot of drywallers coming on the show, so we can talk a lot about because you guys are the rock stars of the construction industry, right?
Yeah.
That's what it
You
is.
just have,
We,
yeah, you
we,
just have those gateway guys up there, huh?
yeah, totally, totally,
Yeah.
man. So quick shout out to the Montreal hoodie that I'm wearing that Danny actually coordinated. Danny from Donnie Doska and all the guys that I did. I did 5 shows in Montreal at some point there, so I'm wearing their hoodie. It was actually like a little collector's item, so I really appreciate Danny for putting this hoodie together. But it's over to you, man. So it's AG Drywall that we're talking with, and on Instagram it's AG Drywall and Finishing. Is that right
Yeah.
on Instagram? Yeah. And then to reach out to you is agdrywall and finishing at gmail.com. And then there's no website, right?
No website.
Yeah. So you kept the same name moving down back to Tennessee, right?
Yeah, actually, I had it at AG Drywall and Taping, but I changed the finishing down here because no one says taping or tapers down here.
You know what? There's a lot of different terminology when it comes to boarding or like you got, I guess the Americans say rockers. Is it? No, not rockers. What do they say?
This area they say sheetrock guys.
Yeah, sheetrock guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I heard it as rockers. And then
Oh
I
yeah.
guess Canadians are tapers, but that down there is finishers.
And then for hangers in Canada, it's mostly like borders.
Yes, borders. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So there's all kind of. It means all the same. It totally means all the same.
Oh yeah, just different terminology for everything. Everything in life is like that too. Like no matter what you're doing, even photography, hairdressers. You got hairdresser or hairstylist, stuff like that.
All kinds.
Yeah,
So
whatever.
yeah, off mic. Just before we get started, you were actually talking about when you came up to Canada. You weren't thrown into the trades just yet. You were looking at focusing on photography.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you
And then,
study?
yeah, I did photography. I did a little bit of photography, and I used to might sound crazy, but I used to be a hairdresser also.
No.
Yeah, I should do commercials. I did a lot of like Fashion Week and for magazines and celebrities. I did that for a long time. Yeah, yeah. So, and then I
I
got
knew
moved
I knew a, I knew a cool guy. I don't know if you probably know him. Babak. He was a photographer. Babak used to do a lot of hairstyling photography, and he still does it.
Oh yeah.
And he would
Okay.
show me a lot of the imagery. So like a lot of stuff that's used and featured in professional publications for hairstyling, hair fashion, and all kinds of stuff. And he would photograph it a certain way, and I was just like going, "This is insane photography, man! Absolutely insane photography."
Yeah, that's what I did. That's what I did for a while. Actually, this is one of.
Let me see. Yeah.
I think I can take this off the wall here. Oh. Yeah, this is one of my shots I did. This is for a
Nice.
magazine. Yeah, I don't know if you can.
Yeah, I can totally still see it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's for a big magazine I did here.
Are you still shooting, Jamal?
This was in New York. Not as much anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I used to shoot. Yeah, I used to shoot a lot, but I haven't done it in a while because family and just paying the bills after moving around so many times. But because usually like you have to have your clientele like
Yeah.
wherever you go.
Yeah, you got to build it.
That's one thing about construction. Like no matter what, you can go start tomorrow, and get a salary or get that check for that job. But photography, you got to build that for a while. It takes a while to build that up.
I'm curious, were you film or digital?
I started off at film, but then I moved over to digital.
Were you Canon or Nikon?
Canon.
Really? Yeah. So I started
Yeah.
Nikon when I switched to digital. I went over to Canon because of the video, but I still have a couple of old Nikon ones, man, that I haven't used in a while.
Okay.
And it's weird. I found some. I was cleaning up some stuff, and I found some old 35 mil film, black and white as well too. Haven't even processed it yet. I was curious about. I don't even know what's on that
Oh, yeah.
roll. I don't want it to be like a scary movie or something like that, and find out
Oh
what's
yeah, I
going
still
on.
got some rolls. My wife found my wife had found a shoebox of like some old film, and I was like, let's get rid.
I don't want to know what's in there,
Yeah.
just in case, right?
Yeah.
All right, but that took you over to drywall. So you coming up to Canada there, how was that starting out in drywall land?
It was good because, like I said, I think I was saying earlier, like I grew up in the trades. My grandfather was a contractor, so I grew up like doing everything, and he did literally everything. Old school guys. He was born in Guyana, so he grew up in like backwoods of sticks. So
Yeah.
doing everything by hand. Has a handful of screws. Some in his mouth, nails in the hammer, back cut in the drywall with the back of the hammer and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So but then on the weekends and after school, that's what I did. Worked with him, like stamping concrete, pouring. Like I did a little bit of everything with him, but he made me hate it. Because I couldn't play with my friends. I couldn't, like hang out. So I said, when I get older, I'm never touching this. So I went to school in North Carolina for a bit, in Wilmington, North Carolina. I went down there for a bit.
Yep.
Then after a while, opened up a bar. I did a few other things. Then I got into here. I always cut my friends here forever, ever since like middle school. Extra money. And then after I flunked out of school, partying too much. I just needed something to do. So I got a grant to go back to school. And so I was like, well, my friends were like, why don't you just be a barber? I'm like, but at the time, the grant wouldn't cover barber school because I had to go to a college.
Okay.
So, but the college had cosmetology school.
Okay.
And I was like, well, I'll go do that then, just have something to do. And then so I was pretty good at it. So I, cutting hair. So then I got hired from a company called Tony and Guy. They make like all the bedhead products and catwalk products.
Yeah.
And they pretty much stay everywhere. So they hired me pretty much before I was even finished school. And then so I went down to Texas and trained down there with them. And then they literally had me flying all over the world for years.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was like in my early 20s, working with these guys from Italy, these guys from all over the world.
Wow.
Yeah. And then another company called J. Beverly Hills offered me more money to come work for them. And they have a base in LA, right in Beverly Hills, right on the corner of Wilshire and Bedford. So I was flying out there, working out there, right in Beverly Hills. Yeah. So then I moved out there, lived out there for a while. And then, then ended up moving back to New York, where I started doing like hair for magazines, Fashion Week, and like just still traveling around.
So this would have been all in your 20s?
Yeah, my 20s and 30s. Yeah,
Okay.
20s, early 30s. Yeah. And then I met my wife in LA actually. When I was working for JW Hills.
Okay.
And they have a place out there where people will come, other hairdressers will come out there to take classes and get advanced training. And I was educated for that company for a while. And that's how I met my wife. She came out there to take a class. She's a hairdresser, my wife.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's how we met. And then moved back, because I moved back to New York, and then this did that, and I started doing more photography. And then me and my buddy started a production company, so we would like pitch things to magazines and then to other companies, and then we go shoot their products and stuff like that for them. And I did that. And when my wife moved to New York, I was still doing that. And then she got pregnant, and I was traveling so much. And then I was around so many like temptations, models and. So I'm like, if I want to keep my family, I probably need to step away from this,
Yeah.
And because with fashion, everything is lots of drugs around, lots of partying and what other stuff. So I was like, I really want to keep my family, so I don't want to screw that up because I grew up without a dad, and if it wasn't for my grandfather, I probably would be lost. So I wanted to, be that man around his wife and his kids, So I pushed this to the side and do something else. So when we I ended up selling everything over there, then I came to Tennessee, And then me and my wife opened up the salon together, and we ran that salon for about 7 8 years. Like, it blew up pretty big, and we did an addition, and then that's when her dad got sick. So and we moved to Canada.
Okay.
And then, yeah, so I was always around, construction, and I would always like do my own remodeling. If I buy something, fix it up, whatever, sell it. And then, so I moved after we got to Canada, started working with my brother-in-law just to have some business. But that way, when I started my photography business, I just needed some money coming in. So I was just doing remodeling with him, and he's a drinker. So he would drink at work and take low bids on jobs just to get the job.
Okay.
You know how that goes.
Yeah.
And then so I kind of split ties with him and split on my own. And then all the jobs that kept coming in was just all drywall. And so like I can either take my whole garage to a job site and do everything, or I can just take my drywall tools and just finish and do that. So then I started doing that, just finishing, and then I was just getting more contracts. And then so I would just take on the whole contract and just sub out what I don't want to do, like the border installation and spray foam, whatever. And then, yeah, so that's pretty much how I got started in Canada.
And then how long ago was that you went basically full-time all drywall?
About a year after I got there, so about 4 or 5 years ago, yeah.
Okay, 4 or 5 years ago. And
Yeah.
then did you still hate the construction when you got back into the construction, or did you miss?
I actually fell in love with it for the first time.
Yeah?
I used to hate it, yeah. And yeah, so it was a complete different of being around like, people like me, family men that just want to support, bring money home to their kids and to their wife. And it wasn't that narcissist kind of lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when you're working with like models and celebrities, it's all about them. You're on their time.
Of course.
Yeah,
Did you
even
sorry, did your grandfather get a chance to see you get back into it and love the industry?
No, he passed away before.
So you didn't see that, eh?
Yeah, he passed. Yeah, so I wish he could have, but he didn't. Yeah.
Because that would have been nice for him to see that, because now he was probably teaching you lessons way back then and just planting the seed for you now, right?
Oh yeah, especially this basic stuff like like if I'm gonna clean up, if someone will be cleaning up or whatever, or he will make me go do it. I'm like, I don't want to do this. He goes, someone has to do it, and if you're going to do it, you better do a good job at it.
Yeah.
Do the best job you can. So, and it's like just waking up early, 5 o'clock in the morning, just instilling that work ethic in someone, and then you leave it for a while, but then you come back to it. All those little gems that he would teach me, all those little things, it is, oh, that makes sense now, oh yeah, that makes sense. No, when you leave a job site, clean up before you go, because that way, when the contract is there or the homeowner's coming in, they see that you take care of it.
Yeah.
If you can take care of that room or take care of whatever, you can take care of a little bit more, or they can trust you and leave you at a job site by yourself or whatever, So just having that, work ethic, that cleanliness. He's always say cleanliness is it's next to the godliness.
Yes. Yeah.
And just little things like that you remember, like, will just hit you in the back of your head, like, oh wow,
It actually fits. It totally fits, man. I want to ask you, what's the basic difference between U.S. and Canadian drywallers? Borders, hangers, rockers, whatever, tapers, mudders, whatever you want to call. What's the difference between the two?
I think, especially in the South, but I think Canada, they have a higher standard.
Really?
Yeah, with finishing and just the yards. Like you can go to CSR, like right in Toronto area. You have CSR, you have Tables United, you have quite a few other yards that have everything there. They have what you want. You can go talk to them and get fully serviced.
Yeah.
Here, I go to a yard to go get some supplies. I'm like, it's nothing there.
There's no exclusive drywall suppliers in the U.S.?
Well, in the other places, like further out, yeah.
Yeah, but not Tennessee.
But not right now, not where I live at. So I have to order everything. I still order everything from CSR.
And they ship to you?
Yeah, they ship, yeah.
Oh, wow. I love that. Okay, that's pretty
yeah.
interesting. So you already know what they have anyway, and then you know what you need, so might as well put the order in.
Oh, exactly. And for some reason it's cheap to ship to the US. Like last few packages is like $12 to ship here. Yeah.
Man, the Americans are not going to like that. They're going to be
Yeah.
like, why is that stuff coming from Canada?
I don't know. It's crazy because I would order, like a lot of times if I have someone coming to Canada to come visit me, I would ship stuff to their house and my stepson, whoever, and hey, can you bring this to me? Because it's going to cost an arm and a leg to have it shipped, you know?
Yeah.
Or, I just go get it when I go visit, I just go get it myself. But now I'm shipping from Canada here is next to nothing.
I want to ask you, Jamal, like, so what tools are you running, man? What are you doing these days? Are you a pan or you doing a hawk or
hawk and trowel?
You're hawk and trowel, right? That's what I figured.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're
I
being
grew
taught, but
a hawk and trowel in my hand.
Holy school, right? Totally old school. Yeah.
Yeah, my grandfather, he did a lot of plastering, so the easy front, and he did concrete, so he always had a trowel.
This is how it is, man. Like,
exactly.
You have a nice hawk, it lasts you forever.
Oh yeah. I still have one that I've had for I don't know how long, and it's gotten so small now.
Because you got to clean it, and all of a sudden, I know.
Yeah, I don't really use it anymore. I just keep it for memories because that's what I got from grandfathers.
Yeah.
It just sits in like little case. I don't mess with it, but it's literally about that small right now.
Did he have his initials on it?
Nah.
No, just in case. I guess back in the day there wouldn't have been that much theft going on. Someone wouldn't have taken it or whatever, right?
Nah, and this is New York City also. You stole something up there, it's not going to be nice.
No, it's going to be old school taken care of.
Yeah.
It ain't going to be a harsh word, man. It's going to be something else. No.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then, okay, so I know that there's different kinds of mud, right? So what kind of mud are you guys using down there compared to up here?
We use on USG mud, but it's a little bit different. You have the red all-purpose up there. It's the red box.
Yeah.
Down here, the all-purpose is a green bucket, and they have in the box also. But it's a lot of buckets here now, so you don't really have to go and grab a bunch of boxes and then dump them in your buckets here. So you can get buckets really easy here.
So we were actually just talking to another drywaller, and they're getting rid of all the buckets up here, but I guess they're keeping all the buckets down there.
Yes, yeah. So they have a little mixture of both, but buckets are pretty common here.
So what's the number one problem with the drywall industry, man? Because it's got to be a construction bone to pick here. Like, what is it? It's just guys don't care about how they're hanging the stuff, or they just don't care how they're actually doing the mudding.
Yeah, exactly. Because especially in Canada, is divided because you're either hanging or you're finishing.
Yeah.
So if you're hanging, you don't really give a shit who's behind you.
Finishing.
That's what a lot of trades are. Like even some guys, even some mudders, they don't care. They fill up the for electrician, they put mud right in there. So so a lot of trades don't care about the trade that's coming behind them.
Yeah.
So that's what it is with boarders. They don't really care. So they'll leave gaps. They don't know how to use a router, so they sit there and bust out so many. It won't, And sometimes it'd be easy to just take that piece of board out, throw another one on.
Yeah, to fix that mistake. Yes.
Yeah. You go into a house and you see 20 brand new sheets on the side of the wall. Then you see all the blowouts they have in there. Everything. It's been so easy just to take that sheet down, throw another one up. Take that piece off. Fix that. But they rush into a house. And you can't blame them all the time because, you have contractors that telling them, we need you guys to do this in 5 days.
Yeah. And you need 6 days, right?
So like sometimes you need that extra day and they won't give it to them. So like you can't fault them for that. Then you also got, you got trusses sitting out in the snow for a year, so when they put that up in the house, it's out of whack.
Yeah.
So then you got the boarders that are trying to, throw that up and fix that. So it just trickles down, so you can't, it's hard to set blame on a certain person, but shoddy work is shoddy work, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So you can fault when it's really bad and then you can fault for that,
Jamal, it's kind of interesting how the builder, or I guess the site super, is determining that you've got 5 days to make this happen. And you wonder, first of all, that builder is not a professional drywaller. So how does he calculate 5 days? just based looking on his schedule. That's all it is. It's not about the actual scope of work.
Oh yeah, but it trickles down because okay, this when I get pissed off because okay, you have your electrician went in and took his time. No, you had your framers going in and take their time. You know, you have everybody else goes and take their time, but yet when the drywall guys get in there,
Get
you
it
get
done
rushed.
fast.
You know, so it's bullshit.
It's not fair. It's totally not
Nah,
fair,
not at
right?
all. Yeah.
And you've done
Yeah.
both, right? You've hung drywall and you've also finished drywall, right?
Yes.
Which one do you prefer?
Finishing.
Finishing, right?
Yeah.
Why do you prefer that?
To me, it's more artistic. It's
Yeah.
more skill.
Yeah.
You know, like hanging. I'm not saying hanging is there's no skill in it, but hanging is just you cut, throw it up. You know, you kind of make sure. But for me, I've always been in the arts, so I think that's probably why I veer towards finishing more. So like, I can, just getting those straight lines, just getting it, cohesive.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why I like finishing more. So I guess that's why. But
So what are you like? I know that all finishers have different little tricks. I know some of them are all paper tape guys or girls. Some of them are mesh. Some of them are fiber tape. Like what do you prefer in these days?
Now we're talking. So it depends. Okay, now I love fiber fuse.
Yeah, it's good.
I run through my bazooka.
Yeah.
I pretty much I don't want to do a house without fiber fuse.
Really? On both factory and butt joints?
Butt joints, you gotta be careful.
Okay.
Like your butt joints pretty much have to be V'd out for fiber fuse because it's on a stud, so it kind of protrudes out a little bit. So if you wipe that fiber fuse a little too hard, it's going to rip down the middle.
Yes.
So a lot of times I will double up my fiber fuse on the butt joints.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So instead of you just having one, so it's double security.
Yeah.
So I would double up on my fiber fuse. Or if I'm really being picky, I'll just put tape on my butt joints and then put fiber fuse on all my flats. That way you have a little more security.
I like that.
Yeah. So that you won't have a problem. You won't have a callback, and you're not putting tape twice.
Yeah.
So I run around, just do all my butt joints first with the tape, then come back and do fiber fuse on my flats.
I know that up here, while you were up here, you probably got a chance to, probably more than once, got a chance to use all the ARIA vent covers and the cold air returns covers and everything like that. Are they using those in the States right now?
No, not down here.
No, it's all still grills, right?
Yeah, you don't see it much here, but there's a few places. I'm doing a little bit more. And some of these times I'm doing now is insane. So a little bit of mixture. So they're doing a little bit of it now. They're starting to bring some more in.
Okay.
And then some of the designers have like a mixed relationship with the not designers, but designers, whatever you call them. But so they're trying to bring some of these more products in here. So you're starting to see a little bit more here and there. But also lately I've been doing a lot of commercial since I moved back to Tennessee.
Okay. So that's just fast work, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's fast and a little bit of both.
Yeah.
It depends who the builder is, So so I've been doing a lot more commercial. I used to hate it, and then so I went to Sudbury, and I was working with Drywall Nation up there for a while. They needed some help on some stuff up there, so I worked with Brian Kitchen.
Yeah.
I worked with him for a little bit up there, and then so we did a really big commercial job up there. I think he's still finishing up now, but I was up there with him for like almost 4 months on that job.
Okay. What kind of a commercial job is this, or?
It was a retirement home.
Oh, that's why. Okay. All right. So lots of units.
Yeah, lots of units. Yeah, I was doing 3 units at a time by myself.
Holy cow.
Yeah. So I would take a 2-bedroom and 1 2-bedroom and 2 1-bedrooms. And by myself.
Crazy, man.
Yeah, so I would do 3 at a time. Yeah.
How many guys did he have up there?
Me and another guy named Ben. Ben Tapin's a really amazing finisher.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably up there top 3 I've worked with, And then Brian, he had his crew also. And then he had another guy that was he had another guy that was there for a little bit. He left. So there's about 3 or 4 separate crews, and then Brian had his crew too.
Okay.
So but I was by myself, Ben was by myself, and then another guy, it was 2 other guys, another crew, 2 guys, and then Brian and his 3 guys. Yeah. So but it was a really good experience because you got to see, way this guy works, the way this guy works, and then they come and see what we doing, ask me what I'm doing, how you do it this way. Then so it's like top guys that's really care what they're doing, that really loves his trade, and they're sharing information back and forth. There's no ego, there's no put someone down because they might not do it the way you do it. And so it was a good eye opener.
Nice, man.
And it was fun. We had a lot of fun, up there.
I was curious, like, Jamal, how did you hone your skills, man? Because obviously you didn't get formally trained. You just kept on at it, working at it, and then learning it. So how did you make your skills that much better every single time?
I dropped my ego for a bit. I was working next door to this Hungarian guy, So I'm doing everything by hand. Now I was just using semi-automatic tools like the flushers and the tube and stuff.
Yeah.
So this older guy, he was 62 years old, doing houses by himself.
Wow.
Yeah. So he started around the same day I started, and then he's like almost done, and I still got like maybe a few more days. I'm like, no way, man.
This guy must have a whole crew somewhere, man.
Yeah, I'm like, there's no way. So I go over and talk to him, and I'm looking, I'm like, oh, he's using a bazooka, using the flat boxes. And I'm like, okay. So then he's like, we was talking out, and he's showing me some things. And I was like, you know what? I'm like, hey, how about I can work for you for a little bit? Would you mind? He goes, no, but you're gonna have to do it my way, my way the highway. I'm like, I don't care, man. But he's like, I can't pay you top dollar. I said, I don't care, because I still had a little bit of money saved because I sold my salon and I sold a few things before I moved to Canada. So I was like, fine, I can take a pay cut for a little bit. I just want to learn the automatic tools. And he worked me for, I say, quite a few months, about 5-6 months. I worked with him. Yeah. So I wasn't really making much, but I dropped my ego. I said, hey, I'll be your apprentice for a little bit. I don't care. I just want to learn the tools. And I honed that in for a good while.
Was he a good teacher?
A little bit.
Okay, so he was Hungarian. He was rough around the corners. Yeah, exactly. Totally. Yeah.
And he had a really thick accent also.
Yeah.
So sometimes you could barely understand. So sometimes me and him will go at it, because I'm not a kid. So every now and then, we'll go back and forth a little bit. But for the most part, he was a decent teacher.
Okay.
He taught the best way he could. But also, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't know a lot of these tools. So, to help push me and make me faster,
Yeah. And so now all the machines, you're using what these days?
I use pretty much every machine that's out there right now.
Yeah.
I have literally everything, almost 2 of everything, because I had another crew also. So I made sure I had 2 of everything. So I have bazooka, flat boxes, angle boxes, automatic, like sanders. I have the Merca. No, I used to have the Fest tool, but
why'd you switch up from the Fest tool to the Merca?
Me personally, the Merca does a better finish.
Really? Huh?
Oh yeah, the Fest tool is a little bit heavier and it's a little more aggressive.
Okay.
Like I can finish a house with 150 with a Merca. I can't do that with a Fest tool. I need at least 180.
Really?
On the new one, and then the old Fest tool, I need at least 220.
So what's the Merca doing that the Fest tool isn't doing?
It's orbital,
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm. And then it's not as aggressive as the Fest tool or any of the other ones that's out there. Like I can get on 150, I can get a nice perfect finish on the house.
Wow.
And yeah, I go back, light check. You literally don't see anything unless every now and then you might have a little bit here and there to touch up. But I can go through a house, I can speedball, I can start a house sanding like an average 2,000, 2,500 square foot house. Start sanding around 8 o'clock. I'm done like around 12:30, 1 o'clock.
Really?
Yeah. And then I go back, do my light check, touch up what I have to touch up, and I'm done.
I remember a few years back, a lot of guys were hesitant about going down that Festool route about sanding, mechanically speaking. They always just loved pole sanding. And I'm like, this has got to evolve.
Yeah, they insane.
Yeah. That's what I mean, everybody's got to be using a machine now to sand. They have to be using it.
Oh, yeah. Even if you're using a old porter cable,
yeah,
it's gonna be faster, you know. Like we have a crew here, because the commercial stuff I'm doing now it's a lot of work. So we have other crews that comes in, and I just keep them on track. That's what I'm doing for the builders there. And so even I won't let them touch my Merca. So I have like 2 porter cables. I let them
learn on that, man. Learn on that. Okay? Yeah. If you can get learning on that, then I'll let you touch this. Yes. Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah.
No, but I haven't seen anybody, I guess, other than yourself that has a Merca, because I think all the cool kids are running the Festools these days. But is the Merca cheaper?
No.
It's the same price or even more? Same price, right?
Yeah, same. Yeah, about the same. I forgot the price. I can't think of the price difference in Canada, but a new Merca right now in the US is about 23, 22, 23.
Yeah, that's about the same. So yeah, that makes a lot of
sense.
Over
now, it's a little bit more up there. Yeah, so so I just like the Merca a lot better. Yeah, and it's lighter also. And then the head is like a 180 head, so I can literally stand right here and hit 10 feet on the ceiling and not have to tilt my whole body back and forth.
You know what? Festool, I remember the first generation when I was using it, and I grabbed it and I was like, this is heavy. And that pivoting head is it has too much resistance to get it perfectly flat. I know that they fixed it better. They have the Planex 2 that's out now, and it's a lot better. It's a lot better, but it's still not perfect. It still needs a training course. You know what I mean? You still have to perfect it at that point.
Yeah, and then the suction on there is a little bit wonky also. Like if this has like a suction switch on there.
Yes.
So it kind of sticks a little bit more. So you gotta adjust. You gotta play with it a little bit more. Yeah. But it's still a good machine. And if you take you can swap the sanding pad on there or for a softer pad and get a better finish.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is good. But Merca offers that too, don't they?
Huh? Is that again? Merca comes with the soft pad already.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't have to switch the pad for the Merca. You don't have to. You just and then you can also get a pad saver. So you can throw a little extra pad on there and then put your sanding disc on there, and it gives it even better finish after that.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right, let me share a little history here in drywall. Drywall, also known as gypsum board or plaster board, is a building material that is made from gypsum, a soft sulfate mineral, which is pressed between 2 sheets of heavy paper or fiberglass. The use of drywall as a construction material has its roots in the early 1900s. Prior to that, traditional plaster and lath was used for walls and ceilings in most buildings. I'm assuming down in Tennessee, they're probably still doing a lot of plaster and lath, right? Or repairing plaster. It's got to be old school.
I just fixed a little house. I did a little plaster. I haven't done it in a while. I just been doing a little bit of plaster here and there too.
Lime based?
Yeah, lime based. Yeah.
Wow. The first patent for drywall was issued in 1916 to a U.S. gypsum company employee named Augustine Sackett. He developed a method of mass-producing drywall by using a machine to press the gypsum between 2 sheets of paper. Drywall quickly became popular due to its ease of installation, low cost, and fire resistance. During post-World War II housing boom, the use of drywall increased dramatically as it allowed for faster and cheaper construction of houses and buildings. Drywall was used extensively in the construction of suburban homes and apartment buildings, and it became the standard material for interior walls and ceiling. Today, drywall is used in nearly all new construction and remodeling projects and is considered a staple in the building industry. Its popularity is due to its fire resistance, sound insulation, and relatively low cost. Also, drywall is easy to cut, shape, making it the versatile material for wall ceilings in any size of shape.
Oh yeah.
That's drywall. I mean,
Yep.
back in the day, I guess your grandfather probably would have been using the 2 foot by 4 foot panels, gypsum panels that were just chopped
Oh
up.
yeah.
And yeah,
Hmm.
those ones, right? And then
Yeah.
hung that way. So it's all evolved from now.
Yeah. It's a
Um,
lot thicker and dense back then too.
no, no. Are you guys using a lot of 5/8 stuff, fire rated stuff down there?
Oh yeah, especially for commercial. Yeah.
Commercial, yeah. So is it double
Yeah.
layer for
Especially.
commercial? Do you need double layer for commercial or single layer?
Depends where it is. A lot of it is double layer.
Okay, for
And
dividing
then
the demising walls between units, right?
yes. Yeah.
Okay, so
Because
strictly it's for
we need
fire
that for the
purpose.
fire barrier,
That's
exactly.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I thought
Yeah.
it was, right?
Exactly. Then you have some rooms where when it's just inside the rooms, you can pit a single sheet up with it's separating for like the bedrooms or the kid like between the bedrooms and like the closets and stuff. You can put a single sheet there. Someone doing that, but for the most part, they're doing double layers.
Are
And
you
then
all by your? Sorry, Jamal.
some places are doing even triple layers also.
Triple,
Yeah, yeah, they're doing some triple layers at some places.
and that's what like the building code, the fire code is asking for triple.
Yeah, they want triple.
Well, I mean, a typical. Well, I'm trying to remember. 5/8 drywall has a fire rating. Is it 1 hour? Is it 60 minutes for one layer of fire rated?
I
I don't know
think
if it's.
so. Don't quote me on that,
No, no,
but
I know. I don't. I know that regular drywall is 20 minutes,
mhm.
right? So 5/8. I don't know if 5/8. Maybe it's double layer 5/8 has 1 hour of fire rated. So I'm trying to figure out for I guess triple layer. It's got to be like maybe 90 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
That's probably why they're asking for that. Wow.
Yeah, so yeah, especially I think especially for like that old folks home we doing, they was doing triple A's there of certain things, and then in here they did triple A's of a few places here too. So I guess maybe it's in I don't know if it's an architect or asking for it or whatever. So, but yeah, I've seen it here and there.
Are you guys down there? Are you guys using any kind of Durabond? You guys using working with Durabond as your first coat and just pre-fill kind of thing, or no?
Yeah, yeah. I usually put in if I'm doing beads, I usually do about 25%. I don't really use Durban, I use sheetrock, but it's the same
Yep.
thing.
Yeah.
So I do about 25% sheetrock, like 45 or 90, and then I do the same 5% mud. So I mix my Durban first, get it to consistency. I want that, I put my mud in there and mix that up, and I use that usually for my first coat, all my beads and stuff like that.
Nice.
That way, I don't get that shrinkage.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
And then you're not working by yourself. You have somebody that's working with you, no?
Yeah. Now actually, I have my stepson working with me now.
Okay. All right. So
Yeah.
is he liking it?
Yeah. So far, so good. Yeah, he's liking it now.
How old is he?
He's 23.
And he's liking it, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good to see.
Yeah, so he's at first because when he's moving back, I was asking my wife, like, "Do you think David would want to work with me?" She goes, "No, I don't think so. He doesn't. I don't think he would want to do that." After about 2 weeks I was here, he asked me, "Hey, do you mind if I come work for you?" I was like, "Oh, really?" He goes, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, no problem."
She's responsible for that. She planted the
Yeah.
bug in both you guys. That's what she did. She planted the bug saying, okay,
Yeah.
ask him, talk to him. And all of a sudden,
Yeah.
yeah, he's on the job site. That's how it worked.
Yeah. Yeah, he's picking up, so I got him like doing everything by hand. I'm not even letting him touch the machines yet.
Why is that important to you?
I mean, okay, you go to work, right? Your box breaks or your bazooka breaks, whatever breaks. What are you going to do? Are you going to waste the whole day going to a store trying to get it fixed or go buy another one? You know, and also if you don't have that foundation, like how you going to know anything? You know?
Yeah.
So that's my thing. Like you need to know the foundation first. You need to know how to do everything by hand. I don't care what it is. You don't have to always do it by hand, but you have to know how to. You have to know how to coat something, how much mud you need to put on, how much you need to take off. And so if you can't do it by hand, I mean, I don't know. You have to me. And then you can start learning how to evolve from there. But if you don't know the foundation with anything in life, that's everything. It's not just drywalls. It's everything. You have to know the foundation first.
Yeah, it's 100%. So I mean, if you've got another kid coming and all of a sudden you got more work and you got another kid approaching you, what would it be the first lesson you're going to teach him that you're going to ask of him?
Most do the screws pretty much. That's like the first thing.
Okay.
First thing, screws and also how to mix the mud, and then certain screws, how to mix the mud, do simple tasks, and also doing the screws and doing things by hand, it's how you get your coordination together, And then then you start like seeing how to maneuver your knife, how much mud you need to put in your pan, how much the consistency of how to mix your mud. Because I don't do like 3 cups for this or 4 cups for that. I eyeball everything.
Yes.
Because
there's no recipe. It's just by touch. Yes.
Like every box is different.
Yes.
You have your medium, you have your ultra, and every box comes in different. Even the manufacturers, you have a guy mixing a batch, putting in the boxes. He's not going to do the same consistency every time.
No.
So when it comes to you, like even in the wintertime, especially in Canada, when they deliver the mud, it has to sit in the house at least 24 hours before you can use it.
It does. Yes.
Sometimes it sits, but you don't know how long it's been sitting somewhere else, or how, if they even rotate in the mud.
Yeah.
So you'll get a batch that's a little tougher, and then the next box, and then they're right next to each other.
Yeah.
So you can't just put 4 cups of water in this one and 4 cups in that. It's not going to be the same. It's never going to be the same, So I eyeball everything when I mix it. So just getting them used to that.
Which is good. Those are lessons that he should be learning from those, right? So it's very valuable that way. Have you guys, whenever you guys get together, I know that drywallers, when they get together, it's kind of like their own little construction community, their own construction planet kind of thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
So they just look at it like everybody is amazing at their stuff. But have you guys actually discussed what the future of drywall is going to look like? I mean, are we talking about larger panels here? Is that what are they talking? Is there any hint on some of the companies and what they're talking about, what's coming down the pipe? Or are we still living in a 4x8, 10, 12 long sheets, 1/2 inch, 5/8, whatever? Or is there a new product coming down?
As a sheet of drywall, I don't think there's anything newer. Hopefully we can get more 16 sheets coming in.
16 foot?
Yeah. There's some places here in the States that have 16 feet. Yeah.
I don't want to look at a 16-foot. Are you crazy? And don't tell me one guy's handling that. No, it's not one guy, right? Okay.
Yeah, but for ceilings and stuff like that. But also like what I like now, I like the trim text a lot now. Like butt board. Have you used any of that yet?
I know guys are talking about the butt board. Is it really worth it? Because I just look at it structurally. I'd rather have that end actually sit on a stud. Like, I don't know if I like that, or you guys like it.
I love it, man.
Yeah?
I love it. It's a floating joint, so it's not going to shift with the house shift, especially for your ceilings. So when your house shift, it's less likely to crack.
Okay.
And then you're also using a lot less mud because you're not building out your joint so wide.
Yeah.
So what it does, it creates a butt joint. It makes your butt joint into a flat. So instead of it, what's that style? It's what's that stand,
Is it stronger, Jamal?
It's stronger.
I guess is the science behind it, since the joint is not sitting on a rigid piece of framing, and then the house dries or moves, it won't crack it. So then if it's sitting in between the studs,
exactly,
it has flexibility to the point where it won't crack, it won't move, and that's why you like it more than the actual rigidity of sitting on a stud.
Exactly, that's why.
Okay.
And also, it takes less mud. Is faster to work with, so you can run your flats all day instead of having to. You have to take more time with your butt joints. So you got to tag both sides, and then come down the middle, or you just got to coat the whole thing at once. And then using more mud is more man time.
Yeah.
So it takes longer, especially when you have those deadlines like they pushing. Especially in Canada, they push deadlines a lot up there in the GTA area.
Yeah.
They want you in and out.
Yeah. Like you said.
Here in the South, they give you a little bit more time down here. They don't stress out as bad.
But is there actual flexibility in the butt joint?
Is it flexibility?
Yeah.
No, not really. It has to be right.
Okay.
Yeah, right. It has to be right. Butt joint has to be right, because if not, you're going to get called back. It's going to crack. So you want to do it right. I'd rather take the time, do it right, and know, especially you don't want to have to come back to fix a butt joint.
No.
Especially if it's spray texture. on top of that, like California knockdown. That
Yeah.
takes the longest to fix. If it's flat, that's one thing. It's okay. But if you got spray on top of that, now you got to take that off. You got to fix the butt joint. Now you got to come back and get it sprayed again. So that just takes much, that's more money, more time.
You guys can fix California knockdown? I thought you guys had to scrape it all off to the corners and then redo the ceiling, or you could fix an actual California knockdown.
Yeah, you can fix that. Yeah.
Really? And make it look like it's not connected to the old one? It'll look consistent? Really? Wow, I didn't know that.
Like when you scrape it, just go further out and then you coat it. Yeah, just go further out when you're coating. You don't just, like, if your patch is about you got 2x2 patch that you got to fix, you fix about 4 or 5 feet,
Yeah.
Or you go wider. So then they can spray on top of that. So you just make sure you go further out, much, much further out. You don't have to take everything down. No.
So you prefer trim tech. So you're definitely a plastic corner bead over a metal corner bead?
No, actually, my favorite bead is the Trimtex Fast Edge. So it's like how you have the paper face metal.
Yes.
The Trimtex is a paper face vinyl on the inside.
Okay, is that a new one?
It hugs the drywall up. It hugs the corner really tight, and it's a more flat surface, so you don't have that big hump, and you don't have so much mud to fill in.
Yeah.
So using less mud, it's faster to put on, and if it gets hit on the side, you don't have to sit there and grind off half the corner bead, take it off. It literally gets hit, mud comes off, you put mud back on it, and that's it. You don't have to sit there. The bead isn't all bent in. Like it's an amazing product. Actually, Trimtex has sent me. They have a new. You ever use no coat?
Yeah.
Before?
Yeah. So they have a new product.
A new product, a fast edge roll. It's pretty good, man. So you have the. So you pretty much have the vinyl inside.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit stronger.
Oh, so they made theirs vinyl inside. That's why.
Yeah, they made theirs a little bit better, and it's more flat, so it's less you have to coat.
Got it.
And it's more even. So
I like that. That makes sense to me. Yeah.
Yeah, it has a mud lock technology on it also, so it locks to the wall, so it's not sliding up and down when you go to coat it, like no coat or level line.
Yeah.
Yeah, this stuff is amazing. So yeah, so I love Trimtex a lot. Like the products, it really works. But every product has its time and place,
Yes. Yeah, of course.
So
right?
you can't use everything for everything, So
you guys doing a lot of bullnose down there? I know that in Canada that there wasn't a lot of bullnose going on.
No, it wasn't. But yeah. Here, it's not a lot of bullnose here.
No, Trimtex make a bullnose. They make a bullnose, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Is it?
Make a bullnose.
Yeah, it's made out of vinyl, right? Yeah, the bullnose is made out of vinyl. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people say plastic, but it's pretty much it's vinyl.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not plastic. It's vinyl. Yeah, everybody say plastic beads, but it's a vinyl bead.
I think I'm gonna say that bullnose is gonna make a comeback. I think it's gonna be like old school brought back from the '80s or something like that, man. And you're gonna see more and more people are gonna ask for bullnose.
Oh yeah, the whole project I did in Sudbury was all bullnose.
Really?
Yeah, I think I have a clip on my Instagram page. I'm applying the bullnose. Yeah, so that whole building was all bullnose.
That's a lot, man. But it's actually, you know what? If you think about it, isn't it easier to do a bullnose finish versus a 90 corner?
It's easy to finish it, but it takes a little bit longer to put it on.
Yeah.
And then the drywall has to be cut back.
It has to be cut back on the angles. Yeah.
Because if it's not cut back enough, it's going to rock.
Yes. Yeah.
It's not going to go on. So it has to be cut back more. So drywallers have to do a better job. There was so many of the units that we had to call guys back to come back and fix it. Yeah, and then after a while, I stopped calling back. I started cutting it back myself. But then they didn't want you to cut it back yourself because that's their job, and they were union.
Yes.
Well, the drywallers up there were union, so they made a big fuss. So they caught you, cutting back your own beads. So we have to call those guys, come back and cut it. And yeah, but
So Jamal, you correct me if I'm wrong, but when you're doing a bullnose and you're cutting back, you're just letting the drywall sit inside of the corner, right? Or are you cutting back on a 45?
Yeah, you want to cut it back on a 40. You can cut it back on a 45, or you can just cut it a little shorter.
That's it. About how much? Like a 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch?
Yeah, exactly. Between a 1/4 inch and a 1/2 inch. And it depends what size of the bonos also. If it's a jumbo bonos, you gotta cut back even more,
Yes, yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
I remember seeing, I was working on a house in Toronto, and I remember seeing the original bullnose, and it was all full plaster, that was casted in place, man. Because when we were we were demolishing it, and always all that original lime plaster, and it was a full solid piece of lime plaster that was casted in place to match the actual crown molding at the very top. And I was fascinated by that. That's how the old school bullnose was done.
Oh yeah, I just got finished this job. So like half the house is like this plaster, half the house is new construction. So they had this guy there. He's old school plaster guy. He's probably in the 60s. He's making his own beads there. He has little templates, and he's like, crown molding. He's making his own crown molding plaster.
I believe it. I totally believe it.
So he has his own templates. He's making his own bull nose. And so I'm like, wow, this is amazing. So
was he mixing the mud right then and there?
Yep. Yeah.
Talk about a chef, eh? Yeah. Like he was it was just recipe. He was just making it up right then and there, man.
Yeah, and he's making it look effortless too. He just like, he's just sitting there doing this thing. I'm like, holy shit.
Guys like that make me nervous, because my first thought is, has he taught somebody else how to do that before he gets out of the industry, or before he retires or he passes on, right? I'm hoping that he's passed it on to somebody else, right?
Yeah, he has another guy working, but the guy's just a few years older, a few years younger than him. So, and then so he's actually taught some this guy's from Honduras, and so he taught them. So they are working with it a little bit. So then I've done a few walls with him, and he showed me a little tricks here and there. I'm like, wow, man, this is nice. So it was not like working with my grandfather, but it's almost like had that little remembrance came back a little bit. So, yeah, you're doing overlapping plaster, and then also now we just putting it over, over metal sheets. And then we sit there, concrete it first, and come back over that with the plaster. And it's just nice, working with the Hawk and Trowel, like just no tools, no power tools, no tapers, no flat boxes, just all day Hawk and Trowel.
That's the original plaster. That's how it was done, right?
Yeah.
What kind of collection of derbies do you have, or do you get asked for a lot of derby work?
I'm doing a lot of level 5 work now, a lot of skimming.
Really? Yeah.
So I use I'm using a lot of the Columbia skimming blades.
Yeah.
So
how big? Yeah. What's the biggest one that you have?
48.
That starts to get heavy, if you got too much mud on there, huh? And that's a workout on its own, man.
Oh yeah. So what I do, I have an 18-inch roller, with the thick mat.
Yes.
And then I have an 18-inch bucket. So
yes,
I just dump it in the bucket and roll it on. Then I come back with the skimming blade. The same thing for the ceiling. When the walls, I don't like to use the pole, but I have an attachment. I could put the skimming blade on a pole.
Yeah.
So for the ceiling, I use the pole for the ceilings, but if I'm using the walls and then I just do it by hand. But after a while, especially you got to hop up, do that top one. I'm like, oh man, this is getting heavy.
But it gives you such a beautiful finish, man. Like it just looks so beautiful when you do that one pass and just let it sit and let it dry. And it's almost like you just have to look at it and it's finished sanded. You don't have to even touch it, man. That's how beautiful it is. I love those Darby's things, man.
That's like what you want. Yeah. It's a little bit different from the Darby though. The Darby is that is solid.
Oh yeah. I know.
Yeah. Darby's are solid. The skimming blades, they have a little bit of flex to it. Yeah, the Darby is good. Actually, Darbies are good for the first coat.
Yeah,
and then the second coat with the skimming blade. That's like a perfect mixture right there.
So you're getting a lot of work. You're getting a lot of requests for that in residential or commercial. It gotta be residential.
Yeah, and also look both. Because a lot of the commercial, if it's a remodel, for the commercial, because a lot of them are in those old buildings.
Yeah, they want to match it. Yeah, they want to match it.
So we got to cover that up. But for new commercial, no, it's just like the older commercial work. Yeah, because there's some buildings that have like buildings downtown. When they have a client leaves, so when they come back, they have a new client come in and take over that building or that whole floor. They remodel it to what they want. So we got to build walls. We got to change the whole area around for them. So what they office, if it's if it's an open floor plan or however they want it. So we got to match up a lot of work for them. So Yeah, it's a lot of work, especially commercial work is it's insane, man.
So even I was gonna say like in commercial, but it's also trickling back into residential. You guys are
Mhm.
being asked to do a lot more work these days. Like
Yes.
you're getting drywall, mud in, recessed lights into the actual walls now. Your
Mhm.
ceilings. You're getting the HVAC recess. You're getting so many things now that are all being drywall mudded into, which basically just keeps on adding more work to you guys to make those little details like they basically flawless now on the wall.
Oh yeah, especially now we're doing a lot of window returns, door
Yeah.
return,
Yeah.
and then now what's in right now is this shadow beads, fucking
Yes.
shadow beads, man. It's insane. Like, so they want you like now you're a floor guy. You on your on your
Your
knees
trim,
and
yeah, your drywall
yeah,
and trim is what you're doing. Yes.
yeah, so like you got to charge more for that, and then so a lot of the houses I quote them for. I quote them high because I don't want to do it in the first place. So if I'm going to do it, it's going to cost you.
Of course.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So yeah, so if they want me to do shadow beads, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg.
Which you
Yeah,
should, right? So are they getting
yeah,
nervous about the pricing because you're submitting these numbers? But like
yeah,
you said, you're a trim guy now. You're not only just doing drywall and finishing, you're doing trim now.
exactly. Then there's a lot. When I first got here, it was a little difficult because the way they quote jobs here, they by the sheet. So if they so they would charge, some guys would charge, I forgot what it was, $12 a sheet of drywall to finish a house.
Really?
Yes,
Wow.
I was like, what? I mean, there's no way in the world. So I'll go through and then but that's for that's for subcontracting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's just for sub if I'm just gonna sub a finishing job. So I didn't first few weeks I didn't even work because I'm not taking those jobs. There's no way in the world. So yeah, so even if it's window returns, even if it's door returns or whatever, anything extra bunch of beads, they didn't want you, they wouldn't count that in. They would just say it's 12 sheets for the whole house. I don't care what the house is, I don't care how much extra you have. That's what we pay here. Like, fuck you.
That makes no
Like,
sense. That totally makes no sense, man. You can't
no,
make
it makes
any
no sense
you
at
can't
all.
run a business that way at all.
No, not at all. No way. So then I just waited it out, and I just kept going to contractors and then going directly to the contractors. And I said, I was like, I'm not subbing for you guys. You're out of your mind.
Were they testing you guys? Is that what it was? They were trying to figure out, see who we can get to do it for next to nothing, and then we don't care. We save the money.
I don't think it's testing. It's just the way they've been doing it here and what they've been getting away of.
Yeah,
What they've been getting away
that's
with.
not right.
Yeah. Nah,
You gotta pay a fair wage, man, at that
yeah.
point. That
And then
makes no sense.
no disrespect to any, not shy, but there's a lot of, guys from Mexico here and guys from wherever, and they doing it for that price.
No, really?
Yeah, so they're taking advantage of people, period, and it sucks. It sucks
Yeah.
for like someone to have to try to feed their family and have to take a lesser wage just because, this is what it's the norm, you know.
Yeah.
But also because there's no unions here whatsoever.
Nothing at all?
There's no unions. Like they might have a carpenters union that's to the left, or there's no drywall or finishing tapers union here whatsoever. So that's only good thing. Not say that's the only good thing. That's one good thing about unions up in Canada because they kind of set the price, set the bar of what the standard price should be. And then usually if you do a job on your own, you're not going to take anything less than union rate.
Yeah. Yeah.
But here, since there's no unions, they can like drop the prices so low on people who don't know any better. So for me, I just focus on this high quality work. That way I can charge what I charge and not have to worry about it. But you don't have anybody who's in that position that can do that.
Was that a big transition for you, man, to come from to US, Canada, back to the US? Or was it easy for you to get your feet wet again and just start all over?
It was a little bit easy to come back here because it was a little bit easier after a while, after a month or so. But if I didn't have anything put away, I'd have been screwed.
Yeah, yeah.
Because if I needed work right away, I'd have been working for much less because the way they've been doing things here. And but for someone who's just starting out, yeah, it can suck for them. Because they don't know any better, or they have to take the job because they have to feed their family, so they have to
Yeah.
take that price.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, so it was a little like smack in the face for a minute. I'm like, what? You guys are charging this here? You guys are paying this to people? Like, wow. Like especially with inflation, everything's going up, like how do people survive,
So you got any, Jamal, you got any concerns with this year? Are you going to stay busy, or how's the U.S. reacting right now regarding the economy? How are you guys looking?
I'm pretty much booked for the rest of the year.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Good for you, man.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah. I've gotten pretty lucky, so I can't really complain. So I'm pretty much booked for the rest of the year.
So now all you got to do is try to figure out how to get more crews and more jobs, and then you could just manage things and not be on the tools anymore. That's never going to happen, right?
Probably I don't see that for another. I see about 10 more years on the tools that I can be happy with,
Yeah.
But I'll probably cut back. I'll probably cut back a little bit, but I still want to be on the tools for a little bit. But we all say that, right? Yeah.
There's gonna come a day that you're gonna have to put the tools down. I don't care who you are, but there's gonna come a day that you have to.
Yeah, exactly. And then relax a little bit more, But yeah. So a few more years, I'll probably start putting it down little by little. But yeah, we see where it goes. But I'm really excited teaching my stepson. I'm happy doing that, and I feel like really good to work with him and seeing him progress a little bit here and there.
It's great that he's embracing it.
Yeah.
So when's he going to get on the tools? So when are you going to let him get on the boxes?
Probably maybe next house or two, next project or two.
Do you catch him watching you on the boxes and looking at you and trying to figure out if he can do it and when's he going to do it and get a chance to do it? Or
yeah. And especially like sometimes I'm showing him something, or show him how to code a bead, or show him how to know. Now we're working on our butt joints a little bit, so we're trying to get him to code them a little bit more. And I kind of messed up because I got him using a knife, instead of the trowel.
Okay.
Because I just wanted to get his hand coordination together, but now I'm like, I should just do him right on the trowel first. That way now he doesn't have to switch over to the trowel. So like, so I'm like, maybe, but I'll throw him on the trowel a little bit. He'll be on this soon. But now I just got him using a knife. But first I had him with a knife and pan. Now I got him with a knife and the hawk. So now he's using a knife and a hawk now.
Yeah.
So now I'll give him the trowel so he could put the knife to the trowel, the trowel to the hawk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
he'll eventually pick it up. He'll get that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What kind of trowel are you using? What brand? You Nella or anything like that? No.
Nella right now.
Yeah. Nella. Yeah. Okay. And the knives the same way?
Knives, I have a little bit of mixture. I have if I'm doing like my 3-ways, I have the old school Richard knives.
Yep.
It's more like a V.
Yep.
Yeah, and then because I don't like the bell knives for the 3-ways. You dig in too much in your 3-ways.
Yeah, exactly.
So I have a little bit. I have a mixture. Then I have Then if I'm wiping tapes down, I have the 8-inch DeWalt knife. So it's not the square one. So it's the 8-inch. It's 8-inch bell knife.
Really? I've never seen that. And DeWalt's got a knife like that now, huh?
Yeah, so it's more flat. So like I used to use like a Marshalltown one.
Yes, yeah.
And it's square. Then the handle's a little bit bulkier. So the DeWalt 8-inch one is nice and flat, so you can like really wipe and your hands not cramping as fast and stuff like that.
Is it flexible? Is it a nice blade?
Yeah, it's not too much flex because
Okay.
it's not too much flex and it's not too much bend. It's like right in the middle.
Got it.
So so sometimes if it's too much of a flex and you're wiping tape, sometimes you can dig out too much of that mud.
Yeah.
And if it's too hard, then you just rough, you just roughing your tape up and stuff like. So it's right in the middle. Yeah. And then so like I think like we said before, I used a Drywall Master Bazooka, flat boxes. I use my angle box. Then I use the angle heads also, and I find the Columbia angle head works the best for me. I use the North Star one. I use quite a few other ones, but the Columbia angle head works the best for me.
Even I've got a Columbia angle head, man, and I use it occasionally because I actually like it a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, and then if I'm wiping tape for the first coat, I use a flusher, not an angle head, because with the flusher I can get in my corners more. The angle head, you're not gonna be able to get in the corner that tight.
Yeah.
Especially if you're doing like 9 feet, 10 feet. I can sit there and clean my corners out really nice with the flusher. And then I can hop up later and then clean it out a little bit more, add another coat. And then flat boxes I use. My best flat box is the North Star one. Okay. And now I have the changeable blades. So like if I have the 12 box, so it has a 12 blade on there, and you can take the 12 blade off and put a 14 blade on there.
Really?
Use the same box. And now it also have the 8-10 box and they have the 10-12 box.
That's
so you can
like
so
that.
one box.
Yeah.
So one box you can you can use that for the whole house, especially if you have the 10-12 box. That's your average coating for each house, For any job is 10-12. That's what's the norm. But like I said, they have an 8-10 box, they have a 10-12, and they have a 12-14. It's amazing. Best box I ever used. And it's nice. And it's almost like using a skimming blade. You get that perfect finish.
I guess you must be thankful that you don't have to wait for the cold weather in Canada anymore. You don't have to wait for job sites to warm up for your mud to actually dry.
I was in a t-shirt 2 days ago.
I know, because all you guys, here in Canada, all you guys are always suffering through colder job sites, and then mud's not drying, and then you can't come back, and
I gotta get heaters in the house.
Yeah, I know, it's all bullshit. Like, I mean, GC should be having those heaters in those houses, and the houses should be temperature, man. They totally should be.
Exactly. Then electrician, sometimes they have the day you start a house, they have the electrician come in that day, and then the mud's half frozen. So you can't really work that day. So then, they're like, oh, why aren't you here? Like, I can't work this good. So usually when I was up there, I would always at least have 2 houses on the go, so that way if one house is, wet, I can run over to the other house.
Yeah.
And shoot back over, or have a house in, a basement or whatever. But for the most part, I had to make sure I at least had 2 houses on the go, because you have to, or you won't really make any money. You sit at home for a day because it's wet here, stuff like that. So yeah. But that's one thing I'm not missing.
I'm not even missing that, man. I can't stand those. I've been in all the different stages of construction and cold temps. I'm not a fan of it, man. I am not a fan. I'd rather choose a hot temp any day over a cold temp any day, man. Any day.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh yeah, I can always drink some more water, throw some water on my head.
Exactly. Exactly. You get these weird Canadians up here like, oh, I can always throw on another jacket. I can always throw on another hoodie. Yeah, but your mud can't dry faster. No. You know what I mean? And might damage the mud if the temperature's too bad, right?
Oh yeah, especially if you put those propane heaters in the house, and then you put a fan on top of that. So you got the heat hitting the wall too hot. Then you got the fan hitting it, so now you got cracks everywhere.
I know.
Yeah.
So it sucks, man.
Oh yeah.
Jamal, what else what haven't we covered, man?
I don't know.
You've done all kinds of, have you got into coffered ceilings? And no, you don't get into plaster work that way or any of that. No, you don't do any of that.
But I do coffered ceilings, but with drywall.
With drywall,
so,
yeah.
So that and coffered ceilings, you name it. Yeah. So
listen, I'm a fan of Trimtex. I'm just not a fan of Trimtex's wainscoting.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Those moldings and things like that, because I'm old school, right? So wainscoting has a purpose. It's designed to be hit. And I don't want to be hitting plaster all the time because it's going to crack, so you're going to have to repair it. If you hit wood, then you don't repair it. You just touch it up with some paint. That's why I'm a fan of that stuff. But yeah, I do, and I've agreed. I've spoken to so many drywallers on the show where I do agree that, vinyl, corner beads, bull nose, whatever, metal, all kinds, they have their purpose. Depends on what the work is, what the scope is, and what the person who's doing the work. They have their purpose. So you have to just figure out exactly what you want to use, right?
Oh yeah, and lately I've been doing a lot of waffle ceilings too, which takes a lot of time.
That's time consuming, man.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of time consuming.
On old homes or what? Like a brand new homes?
Yeah, brand new homes. Yeah.
A lot of people are asking for ceiling treatments, huh?
Oh yeah, so it's pretty big right now. So waffle ceilings. This are different. Like you said, coffered ceilings.
It's beautiful, man. That stuff does. I mean, as much as I like a flat ceiling, I prefer some sort of treatment like that. A waffle coffer, I totally prefer that.
And everything I've been doing here is flat. They're getting away from texture here. like in GTA and where I was living at, it's a lot of knockdown, like California knockdown.
Yeah, but Toronto, I think, is completely getting rid of all kinds of texture on the ceiling now. Nobody wants texture anymore.
Nobody wants any more in there. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, but here, I haven't done one knockdown. Everything's been flat since I've been here.
Wow.
Yeah.
What about cove work or anything like that? Like all kinds of larger cove or mudding that way, some details. I see a lot of that stuff out west in California and details like that.
Yeah. Not so much coves here. You don't really see,
No?
not so much, yeah.
Barrel ceilings or anything like that? Groin ceilings or anything like that?
No.
No?
Yeah, no. Yeah. If it's anything, I've seen, oh yeah, so a few of the projects I've been doing now, it's this company called Grand Venetian. They do amazing work. So sometimes they have quite a few of us in the house because the houses are so big. They monsters. So they might have, guys finishing downstairs while we upstairs. So they kind of separate a little bit. So going back and seeing some of these guys work, the tile guys, I've never seen it before. First time I've ever seen it. The guys put crown, they built their own crown molding for tile around.
I've seen it
around the house.
Yeah,
I've never seen it before.
I've seen it. Yeah.
I'm like,
basically it's a mosaic. It's just it's hand,
yeah, exactly.
It's artisan stuff. Yeah. It's expensive.
So now I'm getting to watch these guys do a lot of the work that I never see, because when I go in a house, usually it's just me, it's nobody else. Then I do my job and I'll leave.
Yeah.
Now I'm starting to see a lot of other trades come in and watch them work a little bit, and it's fun because now I feel like I can learn a little bit more. I'm part of something else, not just by myself, or with a helper in the house, come in and out. And watching these guys use the system, I don't know if you've seen it. I'm quite sure you have. It's like a system they put on tile, so they kind of it's like they suck the tile up, and it's a machine.
Yep.
So it makes the tile at a certain level. I'm like, oh, that's badass.
Yeah. That came from slabs and countertops and that whole technology, and it's just been getting trickled down to actual tile now, because tile is basically becoming slabs. Like the amount of skill and everything that's involved is just coming from that whole world. So now they're being challenged to do all that kind of stuff. So now you got to buy all those extra tools. You need to have that stuff, right? I've seen it. It's beautiful stuff.
Yeah, and it's good to be around that. So now you enjoy going to work a little bit more sometimes, because like, you get to see a little bit more progress. You get to see a little more things that's going on, and it builds you better. Also, now you know a little bit more. You can contribute a little bit more.
I had an idea years ago, and I presented it to a client where I actually wanted to clad a plaster crown molding with individual mosaics of different sizes, and to make the curve and to make the shape and to make everything. And then I actually broke it down. I did a sample. I presented it to them, and then I presented the cost, and they're like, no, that's never going to happen. And they loved the way it looked, but there was like the cost was insane. I literally would have to have installed one at a time to put it inside there, just because of all the profiles in the crown and everything, that it was just going to be so labor intensive. And then they said they loved it, but they didn't want to do it because of the cost. And I was like, okay, all right, no problem. So maybe I'll leave it for another day somewhere else. But yeah, I love trying to figure that out.
Yeah. Have you ever gotten to like Venetian plaster at all?
I haven't gotten into it. I want to not necessarily learn it, but I want to definitely use it and have somebody hire somebody. Are you interested in getting into it?
Yeah, I just started messing around with it. Actually, Brian from Drywall Nation, he got me into it.
Yeah.
His project's up there. So and it's a wonderful project. And one of the houses I was doing here, I just finished a house, and then they had this lady come from Texas
to do it.
Yeah, to do it.
Wow.
And 60-year-old lady doing Venetian plaster with her and a helper.
I mean, it's pretty.
It's beautiful work.
Yeah,
too,
yeah. It's very. Work, if it's done well, it's very, very impressive, right? So.
Yeah, you pretty much putting a slab on a wall with a hook and trowel.
I know. Yeah. There's a couple of guys here in Toronto that do it really well. I'm trying to get them on the show to talk more about it. But yeah, I think it keeps on going back to the fact that I think a lot of clients are not asking for flat surfaces anymore. I think they're looking for some sort of texture, treatment, detail, something, just to kind of make it look a little different. Because I think it's there's an opportunity, just like the ceiling. There's always an opportunity to put something on the ceiling. I mean, flat ceilings are nice in certain rooms, but sometimes a ceiling treatment is a lot nicer in those same rooms, right?
Oh yes, yeah. I'm about to make a trip now to Miami. There's a place down there that has. Now I messed around with. I've done a few walls with it, but I want to go down there to just learn the right way of doing it and how to fix it. Because if
Yeah.
I book a job and I do a house with it, I want to know everything about it. So if I get called back, something happened, I know how to repair it. I know how to do everything about it. Yeah. So yeah, there's a place in Miami that does it. Forensic Color. Yeah, out down in Miami.
Yep.
Yeah, so there's another, and it's a place in New York also that does it too. They have the classes there too. So like a few of my friends like, you don't need a class, just start doing it. Like, nah, I'd rather go spend money. I don't care. I really do it.
I want to get the basics. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to do it right. Especially if you got $1 million house. You're working on. You don't want to screw that up.
No, you don't want that kind of callback. You don't need that kind of callback, man.
No, exactly.
Jamal, we got to do the 12 questions, but I think we covered quite a bit. Is there anything else you want to mention?
Oh, no. No, not so much. Had a good time.
No, this is great, man. It's great to finally connect and talk and talk drywall and shop and everything. Man, you do amazing work. So
thank you.
Respect for that, right? So
yeah, all right, ready for the questions.
Cool. Let's do the 12 questions, man. Actually, let me AG Drywall and Finishing at gmail.com. Everybody, AG Drywall on Instagram, AG Drywall and Finishing on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. And what is your favorite construction word?
Done.
Done. What is your least favorite construction word?
My least favorite. I thought about this one. I don't know. My least favorite is just, can we add to that or
since you're here?
Yeah.
I know. What turns you on in construction?
Beautiful work. Beautiful work. Anything that people coming together, like doing a job right, and then just seeing, it's beautiful work. Pretty much at the end of the day.
What turns you off in construction?
Shitty people. People look down on people, talk down to them. I don't care who you are. If you're the porta potty guy, he's doing a job. You don't talk down to them.
Yeah.
You don't disrespect anybody. No one's less than anybody on this job site.
Yeah. What's your favorite curse word?
Fuck.
What's your favorite vehicle? Anything in the world?
The Triumph.
The Triumph?
Old motorcycle Triumphs. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Like World War II. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's going way back, man.
Oh yeah.
Do you ride? You ride, right?
Yeah, I used to. My wife won't let me now, but
the amount of times I hear that, so then I don't have a wife and I have a bike.
Yeah.
One had to go, I guess. So that's just how it happened. What's your least favorite vehicle?
Smart car.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't stand them.
You should just mud them right over. Just 2 boxes of mud and they're done, man. They're done. Yeah. That's it. What construction sound or noise do you love?
The bazooka, the reel going on the bazooka, just that chain going. Yeah. It makes that perfect noise, man.
What construction sound or noise do you hate?
When that drives me crazy, if you tile back a board, if a knife hits that and just scrapes, it drives me crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of like chalk. Yeah. It's like a chalk. I know you're talking about.
Yeah.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt? I mean, you've done a few already in your life.
Yeah. So I always wanted fly planes. Yeah.
It's funny. I'm trying to get. Do you follow Rob Rosati? RA Drywall?
RA Drywall?
I think it's RA Drywall. I'm trying to remember, but he got his pilot license over the pandemic.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, and he's a drywaller. He's a taper. He's a finisher. Yeah. So
I'm gonna check him out.
Yeah, I'll send you his handle. But yeah, he doesn't do a lot of. He's not active on social media. But I've known him because I've hired him a few times, and I remember him talking to me about trying to get his license, and then he just went and did it during the pandemic and got it, and now he's got 3 or 4 licenses, and he's working on his commercial license, and he's a drywaller. He's a drywaller, and he actually took me up. He took me up in a plane, and we flew from East Toronto all the way to Hamilton and then back. And it was lots of fun. He even let me fly the plane. And I was like, this is pretty cool, but I'm not landing. Leave me alone on that one, man. So I won't be landing. I'll be crashing, man, at that point. Yeah. What profession would you not like to do?
Pretty much anything behind a desk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last question. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at those pearly gates?
Do you want to go back and do it again?
Jamal, thank you so much, man. Really a pleasure to have you on the show, man. It
Appreciate
means
it.
so
Thanks
much
for
to have
having
you
me,
on
man.
there, man. Thank you so much for sharing so much as well, too. So we really appreciate it. So everybody check them out, please. AG Drywall, AG Drywall and Finishing at gmail.com, and also the same on Instagram. I think that's it, Angelina. Thank you very much, Jamal.
All right. Thank you, man. Thanks for having me.